everyone, it's the Harry Pear. So recently I've uploaded a top 10 Super Mario Galaxy boss battles and a top 15 on new Super Mario Bros boss battles. So let's keep it going. Today, let's do Super Mario 3D World. So yeah, this is going to be the top 10 Super Mario 3D World boss battles, and also since the boss battles are fairly similar to 3D Land, which is a game on the Nintendo 3DS, the bosses in those games will be counted for this list. So, let's get straight into this. So the first boss in this list will be from Super Mario 3D World, where we will meet King K-Thunk. Okay, so don't get me wrong, I really like the idea of this boss. This boss's main gimmick is when it slides its head from one corner of the square frame to another, and slamming its body into the ground, which to be fair is a really cool idea since it's unique. But this boss is so easy, a piece of mouldy bread could figure out how to defeat this boss, since this game literally tells you where this boss is going to land before it slams his body into the ground by showing you a bright pink shadow. That pretty much is the only reason why this boss is in last place, because of that one feature that makes the boss so ridiculously easy. And it isn't even the first boss of the game, so it doesn't even have a valid excuse for being easy. This is the first boss in Super Mario 3D Land. At the end of the first castle in this game, you'll fight a Bowser imposter, which is just Bowser with a Tanuki tail, so, you know. But all you need to do to defeat this boss is to run up to the fake Bowser, run past him, and press a button which makes the bridge below Bowser's feet collapse. And the fake Bowser will reveal its true form, which is just a Goomba with a Tanuki tail. So, yeah, so it is a very straightforward boss, and it's the first boss in the game, so unlike the King K-Thunk boss, this actually has a pretty good excuse for being easy, which is why this boss is higher than King K-Thunk. Here is the first boss in Super Mario 3D World. You will fight Bowser, although he's not an imposter like he was in 3D Land. In this boss, Bowser drives literally the coolest car in video game history. I mean, just look at it! Where did he even get it from? I don't know, but it's awesome nonetheless. Bowser in this fight will try to throw bouncy bomb balls at you, which you can deflect back at Bowser. But sometimes he will throw the bouncy bombs that are already exploding, which you can't deflect back, so watch out for that. Bowser will also breathe fireballs all over you, so be on the lookout for that as well. This is a very neat boss to start off the game, but because it's the first fight, Bowser's attacks are pretty slow in this fight, so it is fairly easy, but again, it's to be understandable. Unlike King K-Thunk, that isn't even the first boss in the game. But anyway, let's move on. In Super Mario 3D Land, Pom-Pom is an absolute joke, but in 3D World, she is a pretty good boss. In this game, Pom-Pom has the ability to create clones of herself, which can harm you, but you can't harm them. And your job is to find out which one is the real Pom-Pom and attack her. Thankfully, it's pretty easy to tell which one's the real one, because the real Pom-Pom's ninja staff is pink and has a bow on it. This boss can get really hectic though, because at times there are so many Pom-Poms on the screen and they're all throwing ninja staffs at you at the same time. It's pretty fun. The Boom Boom fights in Super Mario 3D Land were very boring as well, just like the Pom-Pom 3D Land fights, but in 3D World, Boom Boom has two new tricks up his sleeve. The first time you meet him, he'll turn invisible, and the only way you can see him is by a faint see-through shadow which you can see on the screen, which makes the fight so much harder. And the second time you meet him, he'll take a page out of Pom-Pom's book and create a clone of himself, but the clone is always inside the shell spinning around. Both of these fights are massive improvements from the 3D Land fights, and definitely deserves to be number 6. This fight kind of reminds me of the Gobblegut boss fight in Super Mario Galaxy 2. In this fight you'll fight King Histocrat, and he can breathe fire and mini Histocrats will appear out of the ground. Some holding plates on their head, which Mario with the aid of the cat suit can use to get enough elevation to jump on Histocrat's head. Or the mini Histocrats will come out of the ground trying to bite you, so you need to be careful. The second time you'll fight Mrs. Histocrat, or Queen Histocrat, whatever you want to call it, and it's pretty much the same fight, it's just a female version of the boss. But the third time, you'll fight both King and Queen Histocrat at the same time. It's a pretty awesome boss, and with pretty good music as well. This is a really interesting fight in Super Mario 3D World. In this fight, a massive lava rock will greet you, along with two smaller lava rocks, and you have to use the smaller rocks to throw them at the boss. After you hit them, the boss will spin like 1,000 times while shooting lava bubbles at you. And this boss is also invulnerable at this stage. This boss isn't as easy as it looks, because it's kind of difficult to get the timing right in order to pick up the smaller rocks, and even if you do get the timing right, you have to aim them perfectly at the boss, whilst the boss is rolling around all over the arena. This is quite a fun boss actually, and you need to have good precision and good reactions in order to defeat this boss. It is an epic boss to say the least. In lots of Mario games, Mario uses power-ups to help him, but we hardly ever see Bowser use any power-ups. Well, in this game, Bowser finally decides to give Mario a taste of his own medicine. He starts by using the cat suit power-up to turn into Meowser, and Meowser will climb up the tower and fall down it whilst Mario tries to ascend up the tower. Later on in the fight though, Meowser uses another power-up, being the double cherry power-up, to create multiple Meowsers, and the result is utter chaos. And it leaves you to think, which one's the real Bowser? Is it this one? Is it that one? Is it that one? I have no clue. Unfortunately though, as cool as this fight actually is, the way you defeat Bowser is pretty pathetic. I mean, he's literally standing on top of a power block. What did Bowser think was gonna happen? Also, the camera is by far the worst part of this fight. It's so slow, and sometimes you just have to stand still and wait like 5 years for the camera to catch up. But regardless, this final battle is still really good, and it gives you a massive adrenaline rush whilst fighting this boss. And overall, it's a great way to end Super Mario 3D World. Boy, the final boss in Super Mario 3D Land is simply epic. You're literally in a James Bond movie, and Bowser's throwing literally everything at you. Fireballs, spike balls, and even Donkey Kong barrels. And once you press the switch, you think that the boss is defeated. Oh no, it's not. Bowser comes back and throws super fireballs at you that can not only destroy you, but the platforms beneath you. And it all leads to the best part of the fight, which is the chase at the end. Whew! This boss is epic, and definitely without a doubt one of the best Bowser fights in the entire Mario series. I'll talk about this boss more in my top 5 best and worst Bowser battles videos. It goes to show just how epic this boss actually is. But if you think that this boss is good, boy, just wait until you see number 1. Number 1 is just absolutely unreal. Yep, Motley Boss Blob from Super Mario 3D World is my favourite boss in the 3D Land/World series. For starters, this boss is a jester. Like, how random is that? But this isn't any old jester. He turns into the main boss, Motley Boss Blob, and he likes to ground pound constantly at Mario in order to crush him. But sometimes he'll ground pound the floor so hard that the boss will fall apart and will leave the jester and a double cherry power-up behind. Mario can grab the double cherry power-up to multiply himself and attack the boss. The second time when you fight this jester, it will turn into a golden Motley Boss Blob, and every time it pounds on the floor, it will create a shockwave on the floor that Mario needs to dodge. Also, the music. Oh, the music is so good! This is definitely one of the best songs in Super Mario 3D World, and I'm so happy it made its way into Mario Maker 2. And yes, I know that the Boss Builder and the King Ka-Thunk fight has this theme as well, but I think it sounds the best and the most appropriate in the Motley Boss Blob fight. Literally, the electric guitar, the trumpet, the saxophones, all of them, they make such a great band to accompany this boss battle, and it is just awesome. This is definitely, no question about that, the best boss in the 3D Land/3D World series. So yeah, that is the video. Now you know my favourite boss fight in Super Mario 3D Land and Super Mario 3D World. So yeah, as always, thank you all for watching. If you like this video, then be sure to like and subscribe. and I will see you all next week for another video. See you then.